So hopefully it should work. Okay. Let me go to these videos. Let me get started. Hopefully it's working. Hopefully it is working. Okay. Let's get started.
I want to live in a society like the one that my grandfather lived in. And I tell people this all the time. I never saw my grandfather cry a day in his life, even when I knew he was positively destroyed and heartbroken when we lost my grandmother, surprisingly, right? A woman that he was married to from the time that he was 17, the woman that he dedicated his entire life to and built his entire life around. My grandfather did not cry at her funeral. He was one of those men that believed that no matter what you were going through, you let it burn in your chest, right? And a lot of men don't like that now. Men don't know. Men need to be vulnerable. You actually don't need to be vulnerable in public. You don't need to be vulnerable in public. We need to see examples of strength everywhere. Strong women and strong men. And of course, we all assume that you have moments of vulnerability. We all do. All I'm saying is that we don't want to hear about it. Stop. Button it up. Let it burn in your chest. And that's all I have to say about that.
Jesus wept. John 11:35.
Live in. I want to live in a society like the one that my grandfather lived in. And I tell people this all the time. I never saw my grandfather cry a day in his life, even when I knew he was positively destroyed and heartbroken when we lost my grandmother, surprisingly, right? A woman that he was married to from the time that he was 17, the woman that he dedicated his entire life to and built his entire life around. My grandfather did not cry at her funeral. He was one of those men that believed that no matter what you were going through, you let it burn in your chest, right? And a lot of men don't like that now. Men don't know. Men need to be vulnerable. You actually don't need to be vulnerable in public. You don't need to be vulnerable in public. We need to see examples of strength everywhere. Strong women and strong men. And of course, we all assume that you have moments of vulnerability. We all do. All I'm saying is that we don't want to hear about it. Stop. Button it up. Let it burn in your chest. And that's all I have to say about that.
Jesus wept. John 11:35.
Okay, so I agree with Candace Owens on this about men shouldn't be crying. Ladies, you think about the men that you've been with in your life. How many of you all are still with the guy that cried in front of you? I'd venture to say that most of you all are not, but how many of y'all are with the guy that cried in front of you? Most of the time when guys are crying in front of women, it's manipulation. He's either trying to avoid accountability or he's trying to get vagina. That's 99% of why men cry in front of women. So men shouldn't be crying. There's no need. Candace mentioned her grandfather. I never saw my grandfather cry. I saw my dad try to cry once, but it just didn't. I haven't seen my uncle cry. Like I haven't seen these men cry. So people can say what they want to say, but there's a reason why men don't just cry like that because they don't want to seem vulnerable. Because if the man is crying, then the wife isn't feeling secure. The children aren't feeling secure. If the man is crying, everybody feels like something is really wrong. So the man doesn't cry to keep everybody calm. Now he may go cry, in a cave somewhere, go cry, in the woods somewhere, but he's not gonna cry in front of that woman, and he shouldn't. But let's look at what and hold on. So she mentioned Jesus wept. This is obviously a decadent, out of context statement. When Jesus wept, he raised somebody from the dead. When Jesus cried, his next action was to raise somebody from the dead. So if your man is crying in front of you and he's not raising somebody from the dead, then he shouldn't be crying in front of you. These are these out of context statements. He was so moved that he foreshadowed his own death, his own resurrection. You think he was just shedding tears because the people was mourning Lazarus? No, he's thinking about his own death and all the folks that was going to miss him and all the folks that would shed tears in the future for the Messiah. So again, men shouldn't be crying unless he's going to raise somebody from the dead. That's what I'm going to say about that. Thank you, Katie, for the super sticker. Thank you so much. Miss Kat Sinclair said, I try to make my husband cry and it's impossible. And it's impossible. So, again, when men are crying in front of you, ladies, one or two things usually going on. Avoiding accountability or trying to get vagina. That's it. It's no deeper than that. He gotta get in touch with his feminine side. He has to feel vulnerable. He has to let the woman in. It's foolishness. It's utter foolishness. The title of this presentation is The Black Woman is God. Obviously, it's not spelled like that. Obviously, it's a play on words. But the black woman is the driving force behind all of this. If you haven't noticed, you look at all the agendas, all the movements, it's black women leading the charge. And I'd venture to say that feminism didn't start with white women. Feminism started with Eve. Eve was the first feminist. And then they said it was Lilith who had wings and so feminism didn't start with white women like people tell you. Feminism started with the queens in the beginning. But I want to listen to this lady, and she has a daughter. They have a show, but I really want to dissect. This young lady's mother. I don't know her name. I guess she mentioned that her mother was in the industry, but I'm going to call her Cookie Monster. I don't know who she is, but I'm going to call her Cookie Monster. Katie said, I've seen my dad cry. You seeing your father cry and your father crying in front of you are two different things. You observing your father cry and your father crying to you is something different. Well, I'm talking about the man crying in front of these women. This is a contextual statement, meaning he's talking to the woman and he starts crying. That's manipulation. Like you see a man hurt somewhere and he's crying and you come in the room and he starts, doing this, that's different. I'm talking about a man crying in front of a woman to avoid accountability or to get some vagina. Let's continue though. Let's continue. Now, this young lady, I don't even know who she is, but
drop your single Have Mercy, you were killing it in the performance. It was super sexy and I love to see it, but you received a lot of scrutiny. Why do you think that people feel so different or on the fence about seeing you embrace your sexuality?
I think it's because they grew up with my sister and I. They grew up seeing me as a 15-year-old, and I think when people see me or my name, they still think that's me. Right. And I'll be 25 in July.
You're a grown woman.
Yeah. Yeah, so I know I have a very youthful spirit and I'm very bubbly, but that doesn't make me weak or less than smart or less than knowledgeable.
Yes.
And I know exactly what I want and what I need. And I think it's quite comical when people have so much to say about my life, but I'm happy that they're at least talking and everyone's entitled to an opinion, to be honest. It's up to me to pay attention to what.
She's 25 years old and she knows absolutely nothing. Now, this show is called Black Girl Stuff. Might as well be called Black Girl Magic, Black Girl Sorcery, Black Girl Decadence. How often do you all see black women on a platform talking to each other and they're actually saying something that's edifying? This young lady is 25 years old, and the people that are making comments see her as a young lady. She just said, just because I seem nice and bubbly and warm doesn't mean I'm weak. Again, this is feminism. This is feminism. This is what they're gearing black women to be. They want black women to be soldiers. Black Lives Matter already said they want the single black mothers to be able to go out there and do the social justice work. Maddie Bell said that's the new Sasha Fierce. She's signed by Beyonce's label. Of course. A 25-year-old can't tell me nothing. You 25 years old. Your brain just started developing. Your brain is in the first year of being fully developed. You're talking about all this. Girl, stop. You a child. You still a baby. Still a baby. And instead of them giving her some good advice, you grown, girl. What does that mean? What does it mean when black women say you grown, girl? Is you grown, girl ever attached to something that's righteous? Something that's godly? When black women say you grown, girl, it's always tied to decadence. It ain't tied to nothing good. You grown, girl. What does that mean? She can have sex. She can drink. She can party. She can be ratchet. She can have a baby. That's what you grown, girl mean. You can make your own decisions and swim in a pool of decadence. But young lady's a host of this show. I'm trying to get to the video where she kind of gives a preview of her show. I'm just looking for the right image to give it to you all. Oh, I found it. Here we go.
The Black Girl Stuff, and it's always so much going on in a black girl world.
She know what time it is.
Let's take it up a notch.
Okay. They putting in all the stops for us.
Period. What do you want your legacy to be as Ari the John Fletcher?
I want people to know, especially like black women, and I just want to be like, if that girl could do it, you know what I'm saying? Like, we all could do it.
I am leading with love. That's one thing that I know that our young black men need.
You actually show that online as well, so not just talk shows, you using your platform to show your interaction with your son, because I've seen you interact with your son, and I'm like, that's a beautiful thing.
You have the platform to change the narrative.
You know, the grind never stops, okay? Oh, that sounds good. I can't wait to see that.
That's how you get the people going. It's provocative.
It's utter decadence. It's decadence. All these women on these shows all look the same. Fake hair, fake eyelashes, fake nails, oftentimes fake butt, fake breasts. But they got real problems. Everything fake on them, but they're trying to present you with a real solution. It's foolishness. You can't even walk around on the earth as yourself. This is the majority of black women. This is how they give these platforms to these women, because they know that these women have a great, vast audience of black women, and soon to be white women, soon to be Hispanic women, soon to be Asian women. Everybody's going to be tuning in to hear the Black Girl Magic cast a spell. Speaking of drag queens and transformers, They convinced the black women to put on all these fake accessories so that when the Transformers came in, they gonna blend right in. The Transformers mirror black women. If you haven't noticed this, all them Transformers do they stuff like black women. They act like black women with the attitude, the walk, the snapping, the neck, the girl, all that queen, yes, slay, all that. They use the lace front, the wig, the nails that they do because that's their way in. If we can get the black woman to be artificial, then we can slide the Transformers in. If we can get the black woman to be artificial, then we can get all the other women to be artificial. You even seeing the white girls now wearing more weaves and them nails and all that stuff. Everybody's doing it now. Everybody's doing it. It's crazy. And at the end of the day, none of these women have consulted with a man. None of these women have asked a man, do y'all like lace fronts? Let's do a poll. Do you all like these 6-inch nails? Let's do a poll. Do you all like these BBLs? Let's do a poll. Isn't it funny that these women didn't consult with men at all? These women are altering their bodies, getting injected with stuff, and they ain't consulted a man at all. But guess what? They don't have to. Look at this show. Look at this show. Look at this show.
Welcome to Black Girl Stuff, and it's always so much going on in a black girl world.
You know what time it is.
Black girl stuff. What is it? There was a movie called The Stuff. Can't get enough of the stuff. It was some white ice cream looking yogurt type looking stuff. Whipped cream looking stuff. It was like whipped cream. Thick whipped cream called The Stuff. You ate it. It was delicious to the taste. It took over your body. It was an alien. I liken that movie, The Stuff, to black girl stuff. You consume this nonsense enough, you're going to be corrupted by it.
Let's take it up a notch.
Okay. They putting on all the stops for us.
Period. What do you want your legacy to be as Ari the John Fletcher?
I want people to know, especially like black women, and I just want to be like, if that girl could do it, you know what I'm saying? Like, we all could do it.
I am leading with love. That's one thing that I know that our young black men need.
You actually show that online as well, so not just talk shows, you using your platform to show your interaction with your son.
I rebuke it. I rebuke women, and this is the notion that most of these women have. I'ma get with the guy and figure it out later. This is what most of these women think. I'm going to get with the guy and I'm going to figure it out later. I'm gonna go out on the dates. I'm gonna sleep with him. I'm gonna do all this stuff, and then when it goes south, I'll deal with it. I'm not gonna investigate nothing. I'm gonna go by what he shows me. I'm gonna go by his car. I'm gonna go by his clothes. I'm gonna go by his house. I'm gonna go by all the characteristics, but not one time will I analyze the character. That's why most black women have a child out of wedlock. They do. So, again, this comes from not valuing yourself. When you reduce yourself to black girl stuff, when you reduce yourself to black girl magic, when you reduce yourself to queen, when you reduce yourself to these things, you become a commodity. Now you can be used. You can be bought and you can be sold. You can be traded. These women are not talking about being righteous women. They're talking about living their best life. They're talking about being decadent. What is black girl stuff? It's a bunch of foolishness.
Because I've seen you interact with your son, and I'm like, that's a beautiful thing.
You have the platform to change the narrative.
You know, the grind never stops, okay?
Now you notice they put the dark-skinned girl in the middle. They got the dark-skinned girl. So again, I told y'all, The light-skinned black woman ain't got too much say-so. When the dark-skinned woman is there, she got to be quiet. She becomes a second-class citizen. I've seen it. If she look too cute and her hair is a little too long, she going to have problems. The light-skinned black woman who had long hair, she's going to have problems. My ex was getting her hair done at the Dominican spot. Her hair had gotten long down her back. Them Dominicans hooked her up. She was going to the Dominicans with no problems, no chemicals, all natural. All they was doing was pressing that thing out, and she had that thing long. She was happy. But then guess what happened? Her bald-headed friend, I said it, her bald-headed friend told her to come to my beautician. So she tells me, I'm going to go to so-and-so beautician to get my hair done. I said, now, why would you go to her beautician and she don't have any hair? What is her beautician doing with her hair that's making you impressed because she ain't got no hair? What is she doing? So I told her, if you go in that girl's shop, they're going to mess your head up. I said, you look good, your hair is long. When you walk into that shop, their goal is going to be to destroy your head. The Dominicans have long hair. They don't care. You ain't a threat to them. But them girls in that salon, 99% of them bald-headed. So when you walk in, you public enemy scout number one. And I said, and they're going to destroy your head. Now, she listened to her friend. Of course, she didn't listen to me. Listened to her friend. She went to get her hair done. I came back to the house, and she's crying. That girl done, hair was shorter. She showed me that girl done put 5 plugs in her hair. You know, they put chunks of hair missing, 5 plugs. I started trying to plug stuff into the plugs, 5 plugs in her head. And I said, I didn't feel, I said, I told you. I said, do you think them black women in that shop gonna watch you come in there all bubbly and happy, white teeth, long hair, looking good, praising God, happy about, you think they're gonna let you walk out unscathed? They finna terrorize you. Put 5 plugs in her head and cut the hair short. Then told her to come back so I could fix it. I said, she will never fix your hair. Do you know? She went back to that girl a few times and her hair ain't never been right since. You see how important it is, ladies, listen to a man? Listening to a man will keep y'all from being bald-headed. Listening to a man will keep y'all from being bald-headed. You can say what y'all want to say. I know that when these light-skinned women come into the place and they happy and full of life and they got long hair, black women are going to tear them down. I don't care what y'all say. Thank you, Katie, again for the super sticker. Thank you so much. Again, she came back to back. Whole lot of note. Thank you for the super sticker. You know, but that's black girl stuff. That's black girl stuff. And again, black culture doesn't promote anything that's good. So it doesn't promote not being jealous of somebody's hair. It doesn't promote building somebody up. It promotes decadence. Now, this young lady with this show, she has a mama. Now, her mother I call Cookie Monster, and you're going to see why.
that women should be raising their daughters to be with a man or to be wives?
Let me say this. You went to school in a predominantly white community. And I actually heard some white folks say that they were raising their children to go to school and to find a husband and to find the best one suitor that they could find, whether it be an athlete or whatever. And I thought that was so fucked up. I really did. I thought that was just so fucked up.
But some people would say that's what's wrong with the black community. We aren't raising our children.
I'm raising my children
to be mates to each other.
I have no problem with you being a mate, but I'm not raising you to go find a man in college so that you can get married and become his wife or his whatever. I'm raising you to be a very productive individual, to where you can compete in this world to be a successful person. Necessarily raising you to be somebody's wife, being successful. Now, I'm not.
Now, Cookie Monster then ran off a lot of men. She's warded men off just by her disposition, but Cookie Monster then ran off a lot of men and warded them off just based on countenance. Not necessarily her appearance, because some men like this, but by her countenance. She's not very feminine. She's not very ladylike. She's not very classy. She's not very demure. She's not like the women that you want to throw your jacket over the puddle for. The women that you want to bring a rose to. The women that she never had a guy underneath her window playing the guitar, singing to her. He ain't even thought about it. What man wrote her a poem or a love letter? She just said, I'm not raising my daughter to be a wife. It's blasphemous. It is blasphemy. I rebuke Cookie Monster. I do. I rebuke Cookie Monster. I'm not raising my daughter to be a wife. I'm raising her to be a productive person to be able to compete in this world. I'm raising my daughter to be alone for the rest of her life. I'm raising my daughter to be alone for the rest of my life so she can be miserable like me. And my daughter's light-skinned, so I really halfway resent my daughter for being light-skinned with the long hair. So she kind of makes me upset anyway. So I really want her to be miserable with me as we get older. A lot of these black women sabotage their children because of their own hang-ups. A lot of black women are anti-Bible, anti-God. Because most of these black women personify what feminism is. And it's really the Eve complex, really the God complex. And so most of these women, black women, have that spirit in them. They don't like God because God represents order. God represents authority. God represents submission. God represents accountability. Them black women don't want that. Them black women want to be able to hop on the table and twerk at a moment's notice. And then if you say something to them, you trying to hold them down or you racist. We got a troll on here. We got a troll on here. You see, these people come on here, right? And they're just being used by Satan. The Bible said we wrestle not against flesh and blood. This is why you can't even really get mad at the person because it's not really them. It's just a demon inside of him. He's just a vessel at this point. Just a demon, that's all. We don't wrestle against flesh and blood. We wrestle against principalities. So his goal is to disturb the live. So now I just got to go ahead and just make it easy. Make it easy. But that's the goal. But anyway, let's continue.
I'm not saying being somebody's wife is not successful. I'm saying raising you to think that that's all life has to offer you is fucked up.
If you don't have a family, if you don't have man, woman, child living together, loving together, building together, then what is the purpose of life? Surely life can't be about working for this system. Surely the epitome of life can't be competing in this rat race. Surely everything, it can't just be about what the world wants. Surely it has to be more than life than keeping up with the Joneses. Surely there has to be some higher calling. There has to be something bigger. Surely. If a man isn't a husband, a woman isn't a wife, they don't have a family, what were they really doing? They weren't out there spreading the gospel. They weren't spreading the good news. What was they doing? They wasn't increasing the kingdom. Think about it. What do folks do if they aren't married? If they don't have a family? They're not out there trying to further the kingdom. They're out there being decadent in the world. I rebuke Cookie Monster. I rebuke her. I rebuke everything she's saying because she is a tool of the enemy. Go another video. I'm going to come back to her. I'm going to come back to her.
We're a real woman.
Let me answer that question.
And the reason why I asked is
listening.
because if you fuck with a real woman, she's going to agree with you. Hey, maybe I shouldn't step outside wearing this, nasty ass shit.
Let me answer that. This is the problem. The real woman is standing too close to the hoes, so we don't know the difference until we start talking to y'all. No, listen. I met a lot of women. It don't mean, I don't care if they from the hood. I don't care if they got two parents. Their interests are the same. It's like right now, right? If you see 10 lions coming down the street, are you gonna try to figure out which lion gonna bite your ass or not? You're gonna be like them 10 lions. So unfortunately, the real woman agree with too much shit that these hoes is on, so we don't know the fucking difference. Y'all gotta stand far away from the hoes, cause y'all dress like them. Y'all wear the same shit they wear. Right. Y'all listen to the same music they listen to. And y'all stand for the same shit they stand for. In most cases, not you, baby, but in most cases, the real women got too much in common with the hoes.
So what he's saying is, you can't tell these black women apart. Not at face value. You have to actually talk to them. And sadly enough, most black women have adopted feminism. Most women, period. But black women, it's more intense because there's a rhetoric that says you need to be independent. You don't need a man. So that actually intensifies the feminism. Most other cultures that have feminism is kind of suppressed because family is still valued. Having a husband is still valued. Having children is still valued. So feminism only goes so far in other communities right now. Eventually it's going to take over. But in the black community, with 74% of our children being born out of wedlock, with black women making up the most single mothers, with black men making up the most stepfathers, with all this stuff going on, feminism is just taking over. So what he's saying is, when we look at y'all, y'all all look the same. Now, when we speak to the women, then we can tell whether you got some sense or not. But sadly enough, most of the women ain't talking about nothing. If it ain't dealing with fashion, if it ain't dealing with looks, if it ain't dealing with social media, if it ain't dealing with reality TV, they not really talking about anything. And it's actually sad. And the studies already say that black women, 81% of black women are overweight, out of shape, or obese. Ironically, the hair care market is dominated to the tune of 85% by black women. Black women make up 85% of the revenue of the hair care market. 85% of the hair care market but 81% out of shape, obese, overweight. Those are two extremes. It's too much. It's two extremes. That's cultural at this point. It ain't because they're black women. It's cultural. It's a culture that's been fostered in the black community, and now it's going crazy. Thanks for the super sticker, Khalil. And so I tell any man and woman, you should be at your best. Not because you want to attract a mate, but because God gave you the ability to live. You got life. So why not put your best foot forward in all things? Your health, your mental, your physical, your spiritual, and your mental. We should all be putting our best foot forward. This ain't just for a relationship. This is for just life in general. Another video with Cookie Monster. But anyway, this guy is talking to these women. Now, it's these men's job that when they see these women and these women don't meet the standard, he shouldn't be sleeping with her. Because if he doesn't sleep with her, then she automatically knows there is something about me that he didn't like. But the fact that he didn't sleep with me already makes him honorable. So if you don't sleep with these women, you automatically send a righteous message. Don't sleep with her and then say, oh, you ain't my type. That's foolishness. Or you didn't meet the standard. No. Don't sleep with them from the beginning.
That you experienced as a dark-skinned woman?
I knew that there were going to be challenges because you were a lighter, that you were going to face some natural biases. You were going to encounter girls in school who were going to dislike you just because you were light-skinned. You were going to be picked on at some point in your life because you didn't look like the norm. You were going to be talked about. You were going to be judged unfairly. I knew that, life wasn't going to be fair. So as a parent, it was my responsibility to prepare you for that, not allow you to drift off into this vainness because, you were constantly being told that you were different, you were beautiful, you were light-skinned, your hair texture was different. Okay, all well and good, we knew that, but let's not get caught up into that because the world, that wasn't going to sustain you in life. Your beauty has done you well, you've capitalized on it, but that wasn't going to be enough for you to survive in this world. And my greatest fear, and it should be every parent's greatest fear or concern, is that when the good Lord calls me home, whether it's my time or it's prematurely, whether or not I have prepared you to survive in this world, and whatever that looks like.
Now, Cookie Monster. Now, I don't know if y'all could tell, but I got a clip in here where she's going to talk about how she said the reason why you came out light-skinned was because the donors that she had to choose from, there wasn't that many donors left. So she acted like she went to the clearance rack of sperm and grabbed it's foolishness. But her daughter, she had a donor. But you can tell that she's very jealous of her daughter because her daughter is everything that she hates that she wasn't. So there's no way on this world that you go from saying you're going to be hated and mistreated to folks telling you that you're beautiful. That don't even make any sense. Which one is it? Who's going to be hating her? White women? Are white women going to be telling her that she's not attractive? Are white women going to be stunting on her? Are white women? No. Talking about black women. Talking about herself, really. Yeah, you look good and all that's cool and everything, but you think her mama gleamed with joy when somebody said her daughter was beautiful? And then she went to the mirror looking like Cookie Monster? Ain't no way in the world. Ain't no way in the world. She purposefully went to the clearance rack of that sperm bank, and she withdrew from the account that said insufficient funds, and she made sure she found some light skin or white or whoever he was man. It was done on purpose. She wanted the light skinned baby. She wanted the light skinned baby. Half of it's pride. I got the light skinned baby. Half of it's gonna be I'ma humble this light skinned girl, like the light skinned girls wasn't humbled around me. I'm going to show her what it means to be a good person so she don't let this light skin and long hair go to her head. I'm going to make sure that this one's she's going to do it right. It's foolishness. These folks having children. These folks are having children. This kind of mentality is having a child. Y'all don't believe me?
As a dark-skinned woman,
I knew that there were going to be challenges because you were a lighter.
Now wait a minute. It's challenges being dark-skinned and it's challenges being light-skinned, but y'all ain't talking about white folks. So who's making it hard for y'all to be dark and light? Think about how crazy it is in black culture. Black culture terrorizes light skin and dark skin. They both got the same complaints. Because you can't satisfy black culture. You can't satisfy black people. You can't never be light enough. You can't never be dark enough. You can't never be tall enough. You can't satisfy black culture at all.
That you were going to face some natural biases. You were going to encounter girls in school who were going to dislike you just because you were light-skinned. You were going to be picked on at some point in your life because you didn't look like the norm. You were going to be talked about. You were going to be judged unfairly. I knew that, life wasn't going to be fair. So as a parent, it was my responsibility to prepare you for that, not allow you to drift off into this vainness because, you were constantly being told that you were different, you were beautiful, you were light-skinned, your hair texture was different. Okay, all well and good, we knew that. But
look how obsessed black people are with the physical. Y'all don't think it's satanic? Y'all don't think it's demonic that black people are so obsessed with appearance? Forget the fruits of the Spirit. Forget the fruits of the Spirit. Forget the Holy Spirit. Forget wisdom. Forget discernment. Black folks is spending all of their energy on being black. It's satanic. It's demonic and it's wicked. It's satanic. When Adam and Eve realized they were naked, it meant the fall of man had commenced. It's not a good thing. And now we fast forward and black people are stuck on their appearance. It's narcissism on the most toxic level imaginable. Every day, my skin. Every night, my skin. I'm black. My skin. I'm black. My hair. I'm black. You don't think it's wicked and demonic? What other group of people are this obsessed with how they look? What other group of people are this obsessed with how they look? If a white person got on social media and said, I love my skin, they would get canceled. If an Asian person got on social media and said, I love my skin, they would get canceled. If a Hispanic person got on social media and said, I love my skin, they would get canceled. Black people say it every day and it gets celebrated. It's satanic. It's demonic. How can you walk by faith and not by sight if you are constantly looking at your appearance? This is crazy. I never heard this stuff growing up. I never heard this stuff growing up. Oh yeah, you're right. You are right. In India with that caste system and all that, they are very much stuck on color. The Chinese, them Asians, they don't want to get darker. This is true. In India, the darker you are, the worse it is. What I'm saying is, even the dark Indians ain't getting on social media talking about how beautiful their skin is. Even the Chinese still ain't saying, we glorifying our white or pale skin, lighter skin, pale skin. Black people are saying they're oppressed, but their skin is godly. Black people are saying because they have melanin that they're gods. That's something else. That's something else. Ain't nobody else on this earth saying because we have less melanin that we are God. Nobody. Black folks are the only one doing that. You got half of the black folks worshiping dark skin, then the other half of black folks bleaching their skin. Black folks, I'm telling you, it is satanic. God is not the author of confusion, but confusion does have an author, and it's Satan. This woman is brown skinned, but she wanted a light skinned baby.
But let's not get caught up into that, because the world, that wasn't going to sustain you in life. Your beauty has done you well. You've capitalized on it, but that wasn't going to be enough for you to survive in this world. And my greatest fear, and it should be every parent's greatest fear or concern, is that when the good Lord calls me home, whether it's my time or it's prematurely, whether or not I have prepared you to survive in this world, and whatever that looks like.
This whole notion, thank you again, Khalil, for the super sticker. But this whole notion that this young lady has her own show. How much surviving does she have to do in this world? She has her own show on a network. How much surviving does she have to do? What is she going through? She got her own show. What is she surviving? This is crazy. Somebody put in the comments, bless their heart. I know that she said, so what are we supposed to do? Hate our skin. Young lady, you're not supposed to hate your skin. Your skin is irrelevant. Your skin is irrelevant. Your skin is no better than anybody else's skin. Your skin is an organ designed to protect your body. So you don't hate your skin, you just don't celebrate it and praise it. So in other words, your melanin don't mean nothing. Your melanin doesn't mean a thing. Not in the eyes of God. Because God's looking at your spirit, not your skin color. So don't hate your skin, but don't love it either. Just be indifferent about it. Because skin is skin. But really skin is sin. So when you focus on your skin, you're doing the will of Satan. I hope I answered that question. Let's continue. And that's the problem, Deborah. These people you can't serve two masters. So you can't serve your skin. You can't worship your skin and worship God. You can't do it because you're going to love the one and hate the other. So if you love your skin, you automatically hate God. And God ain't black. So I'm just going to say that too. So if you love your skin, you hate God. I'm trying to save y'all some heartache and pain. Let's go to, where is that video? Oh, I don't see it. I don't see it.
Not true. Black men are this. Black men don't put up with the black women. Black women are this. They find all kind of fault with the black woman.
Right.
Reason why they can't be men and stay home and be fathers to their children. Now let me go further and say
I would
this.
say to your point too, stop laying down with these women. If you don't want to have these children or raise these children or have a family with a black woman, then why lay down with a black woman?
Absolutely, absolutely, and I agree with that. And the other thing too is black men.
I rebuke that. I rebuke that. I rebuke that. Y'all want to convince me that y'all got women's intuition. Y'all want to convince me that y'all goddesses. Y'all want to convince me that y'all are queens. Y'all want to convince me that y'all have magic. Y'all want to convince me of all this stuff, but you can't keep your legs closed for Pookie and Ray Ray? Wait a minute. You mean to tell me y'all are Mother Earth, y'all are goddesses, but when Pookie and Ray Ray show up, y'all are powerless? Is that what I'm hearing? See somebody on here, look at this. He said, I'm sorry, I love my skin. I'm telling you, it's Satan. It's Satan. How do you love your skin? I love my toes. Think about this. I love my hair. I love my eyes. I love my teeth. I love my nails. What does that sound like? What does that sound like? I love my hair. I love my face. I love my body. What does that sound like? Does that sound righteous? Of course not. That sounds like Satan. Folks thinking they saying something, they ain't saying nothing. I love my arms. I love my body. That's called vanity. That's called decadence. That's called pride. I thank God I'm alive and I'm healthy. If I look good, that's a bonus. I thank God that I'm alive and I'm healthy and I'm able to do his will. If I look good in the process, that's a bonus. But to say I love my skin is Satan, and I rebuke it. It is idol worship, and I rebuke it. I rebuke anybody saying they love any parts of their body. Because I know when Adam and Eve realized they were naked, when they saw each other in the physical form, it was because they had sinned. Now, back to the black woman being a goddess, but she can't keep her legs closed for Pookie and Ray Ray. Make it make sense. All these upstanding guys come up. She's able to call them lame. She able to call them square. She able to say they nerds. She able to say all this stuff. She has the power to discern the guy that's not cool. But when it comes to Pookie and Ray Ray, all of a sudden now her leg got to fly open. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. Let's continue.
Even if you're not going to be with the woman,
Thank you, Prudence.
still
Parlay.
be a father to your children. You see, to me, all of that goes hand in hand. You know, having you, and I go back to what I said before, is not bashing a black man.
Yeah.
I decided that I didn't want to put up with a black man's bullshit to have you, and I decided to have you on my own.
There it goes. You heard her. Listen, man. 99% of black women hear Cookie Monster talk, and it sounds like music today. It sounds like music. It sounds like a heart playing. It sounds like a heart playing when they listen to Cookie Monster talk. You can set her up on a jumbotron, and you can survey all these black women, and most black women agree with Cookie Monster. This woman said, I didn't want to put up with black man stuff. She didn't say I wanted to get in shape. She didn't want to say I want to put my best foot forward. She didn't say I want to put a smile on my face. She didn't say I want to change my countenance. She didn't say I want to be a better woman. She didn't say I want to submit myself to God. She said I want to have a baby on my own. Most black women agree with this. How you know this? Go to the comments. Go to the video. Most black women agree with this foolishness, with this satanic rhetoric. This woman is close to 300 pounds talking about what she ain't gonna put up with. She didn't say it to the chicken wings. She didn't say it to the Salisbury steak. She didn't say it to them oxtails over rice. She didn't say it to them ribs. She didn't say it to them pork chops. She didn't say it to their Popeyes. She didn't say it to their red beans and rice. She didn't say it to the dirty rice. She didn't say it to the ice cream. She didn't say it to the peach cobbler. She didn't say it to the turkey wings over the rice with the cabbage, the cornbread, the macaroni. She didn't say it to none of them. But she got the audacity to put her foot down. Her foot that's swollen with water. She got the audacity, and poor circulation, she got the audacity to put her foot down when it comes to black men. I rebuke it. I rebuke it. I rebuke it.
True. Black men are this. Black men don't put up with the black women. Black women are this. They find all kind of fault with the black woman.
Right.
Reason why they can't be men and stay home and be fathers to their children. Now let me.
If a black man does not want to be a father, he should have never been granted the opportunity. I'm going to tell y'all this right now. This whole notion that you could figure it out after the damage been done is over with. Because most of these men running around out here now got that snake bite in them. And now when they're going up inside of you, they're leaving you with an alien octopus baby. Them days over with, ladies. These men now are leaving you with an alien octopus baby. And it's going to crawl in your body and it's going to multiply. If a black man does not want to be a father, he should have never been granted the opportunity. Ever. Y'all do know that throughout the world's inception, only 40% of men have reproduced. 40%. That means 60% of men haven't reproduced. That means that the majority of women are messing with the same guys. But you got women's intuition. Women's intuition don't work against Pookie and Ray Ray though. That's your weakness, your kryptonite.
me go further
So
and say
I would
this.
say to your point too, stop laying down with these women if you don't want to have these children or raise these children or have a family with a black woman. Then why lay down with a black woman?
How about you stop sleeping with these degenerate men? How about for one time in y'all life that y'all stop sleeping with these degenerate men? You know they lying. You know he ain't no good. You know he's a scumbag, but you still want to sleep with him because your pride and your ego. I got the guy with the money. I got the guy that other women wanted. I got the basketball player. I got the guy that look good. It's foolishness. Why I gotta be the bad guy? Why I gotta be the bad guy? You got somebody that actually would have been sleeping with y'all, reformed his life to tell you all that you shouldn't do it. You actually got somebody that's been on the other side telling y'all don't do it. I'm coming and telling you all, do not do it. You shouldn't even be dating. You should be exhausting the conversation. Y'all should meet up twice a week, 3 times a week. And each time y'all meet up, you got a new set of questions to ask. Because if he ain't sleeping with you and he can't wine and dine you, he can't flex on you, then guess what? He ain't going to be able to fake it. He's not going to be able to fake it. A bunch of women say, oh, he can tell you anything. He ain't going to be. You think a man finna meet you in the park twice a week to talk, to get grilled with some questions? He ain't going to do it. Trust me. I would be impressed if a woman met up with me and had a whole bunch of questions. I would. Put me to the test. Nicole Basic, can you give us some tests? Yeah. Ask him, do he believe in God? And then ask him, what do you believe about God? What has God done for you? Who is the Messiah? Stop asking. Matter of fact, the first encounter, the meeting should be all about God. You should have scriptures ready and everything. What do you think about this scripture? What do you think about this story? He ain't gonna make it, y'all. You can put that man through a boot camp for 2 and he ain't coming back. But if he does come back, you might have you a good one. If he does come back, you might have you a good one. Ask the man character questions. What would you do in this situation? What would you do if the woman that you cared about said you had to wait till marriage? Do you value marriage? How do you feel about it when God says to do not fornicate? How do you feel about fornicating? These are the character questions. He can't fake it. Ain't no woman ever asked him that. Ain't no woman ever asked him how he feels about what God said about fornication. Ain't nobody woman asked him that. He gonna be looking like, huh? He gonna be confused. You don't care about my car? No. My house? No. My money? No. Your career? No. Status? No. What are you going to? He can't fake it. Now, if he don't want to be with you, ladies, you didn't waste your time and you preserved your body. And you may have even planted a seed so that his soul can get saved later on. See the benefit in that? See how easy that was? Look at the benefit in doing it that way versus this way. I'm going to just lay down with Pookie and Ray Ray and hope it work out. Foolishness.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I agree with that. And the other thing, too, is black men. Even if you're not going to be with the woman, still be a father to your children. You see, to me, all of that goes hand in hand. You know, having you, and I go back to what I said before, is not bashing a black man.
Yeah. I
decided that I didn't want to put up with a black man's bullshit.
First of all, you don't have the options. This is what's funny. You don't have the options to say what you're going to put up with or not because you ain't calling the shots. What you doing is you're attracted from the bottom of the pool to the bottom of the barrel. Ain't no self-respecting man gonna put up with that mouth for the rest of his life. Ain't no self-respecting man gonna invest in you. I'm sorry, Cookie Monster. So you went to what they call it when they do she went to the sperm bank. What do they call it? In vitro or what? She went that route. It was a test tube back, and her dad, I guess it was a test tube baby. I don't know, but she went that route. My point is, you didn't really have that many options. How about that? You didn't have that many options. You like a great value Florida Evans. You don't have that kind of stroke with men. So what you should have did was the guy that wanted to get with you that was a good guy, you should have got with him. But you didn't want him. You wanted Pookie and Ray Ray, but back in her day was probably Rollo and Lamont. Let's continue.
Let's be very, very candid. The only reason why you ended up light-skinned was because light-skinned,
not did.
Light-skinned is because of the selection or the donors that were available. You know.
So you didn't go out as a dark-skinned woman like I'm gonna choose a biracial man or another race of man because I want my child to be mixed or I don't like the color of my skin.
No.
Because I feel like a lot of people assume that as well because I'm light skinned, like, oh, her mother must have hated herself. So she went.
That is exactly what she did. That is exactly what she did. That's exactly what she did. She said, I want a light-skinned baby. And I'm a terrorizer. I'm a brag about her in public. I got this light-skinned baby, and I'm a terrorize her in private. You think when she got mad at her, she didn't bring her light-skinnedness up? You think when her mother got mad at her, she didn't bring her light-skinned up in that hair? Girl, I'll cut that hair off. Girl, if you move, swing that hair again, I'll cut it off. I won't let you go outside no more. Listen, I know what she terrorized her. She bragged about her in public. My daughter's so beautiful, and then terrorized her in private. I know what she did. Cookie Monster wasn't nice to this girl. This girl's so traumatized, I can see it. Mama done broke her down. Exactly what she did. I want a light-skinned baby with wavy hair. She went to there looking. She went to the clearance section. Him. And I guarantee he ain't black. I guarantee her father ain't black. She talking about black men, but then gonna pick out a non-black. I ain't listen to me. Listen to me. Listen to me. I ain't making this stuff up. Y'all know good and well Cookie Monster went and picked out the non-black man for her so her daughter could be mixed. Do you think she wanted her daughter to come out looking like her? Do you think that? Do you think she said, I want my baby looking just like me? Ain't no way in the world. There's no way. She said, I want a light-skinned baby with long hair. I want to make sure she athletic, tall. I want all that. Make sure she ain't me. So, Prudence Parlay said, are you saying that Cookie Monster prefers white chocolate chips? Exactly what I'm saying. That is exactly what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying. She didn't do it on purpose. You think I believe this?
She went in
I love
chose
myself.
a sperm donor that was not black. But it's like, fact of the matter is, how many black people, men, going to donate sperm?
There were none. There were none.
Yeah.
So she said there was none. Now you think, y'all tell me that the black men didn't have no jobs. But the sperm bank is saying, if you come skeeting a cup, we gonna pay you. So you mean to tell me all these black men is homeless and starving with no job, and all they gotta do is go pull in the sperm bank and get some money and get some food. I don't believe it. Y'all can't have all the narrative sold up. Either black men had jobs or they didn't. Either black men were struggling and had to go to the sperm bank to eat, or they didn't. Which one is it? I rebuke what she just said. Black men was given sperm too. Stop. You know how many folks want athletes? Stop. Stop. We're not going to do this. There was none. Come on, Cookie Monster.
That there were none to choose from in my selection. So,
in your selection, yeah, because you picked. Look what she's saying. In my selection, look what you picked. You said, I want non-black men. So why, if I want the non-black men in your section, why would there be black men? It's foolishness.
with that being said, now there may have been some other places, but I didn't have any to choose from. So I picked the best pick of the list.
So why did you go somewhere else then? You went to Walmart, they didn't have it. Why didn't you go to Target? You went to Walmart, they didn't have it. Why didn't you go to Target? Oh, okay. Okay. I didn't think so. You could have went many places, but you picked the section that said non-black men.
From what I had to choose from, and as a result, you came out the way you came out.
I'm gonna say this again. Most black women agree with Cookie Monster. Not some, most.
That's why I love to see a black man with a black woman.
Yeah. Me
You know, it's like, okay, you didn't fall in that trap. You didn't get wealthy, and now a black woman was good enough to get your ass to where you are, but now that you've gotten there, you got to have a white woman on your arm now to say that I've arrived. And now I can be acceptable in society because I got a white girl instead of a black girl. Now granted, I don't give a damn you love who you love, do whatever you want to do. I'm just telling you my perspective of why black men don't feel as if they've made it or arrived until they go get a white woman.
%85 of black men that are marry black women. I think it's 93% of black women that are marry black men. This notion that black men are just going out and getting white women is a farce. It's not true. And honestly, most black men that get white women, they ain't, But it's a farce. The majority of black men marry black women. The majority of black women marry black men. It's just a false narrative. First, she said she didn't fool with black men. Now she's saying she want to see black men with black women. Listen to her. She just said she don't fool with black men.
That's the reason why I love to see a black man with a black woman.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, you didn't fall in that trap. You didn't get wealthy, and now a black woman was good enough to get your ass to where you are, but now that you've gotten there, you got to have a white woman on your arm now to say that I've arrived. And now I can be acceptable in society because I got a white girl instead of a black girl. Now granted, I don't give a damn you love who.
The notion that a black man has to only love black women is communism. It's a dictatorship. You're telling black men that they can only have black women. Meanwhile, when black women go outside of their race, they found love. You don't know any black woman that is condemned for dating a white guy or marrying a white guy unless she is conservative. Black women get celebrated when they get Brad or Chad. They get celebrated. Black men hate their mama, hate their skin, hate being black, and they selling their race out when they get with somebody that's not black. When black women do it, they get celebrated because black men drove them to it. I rebuke Cookie Monster, and I rebuke her salt and pepper little afro. I rebuke it. I rebuke this lavender turtleneck. I rebuke it. I rebuke it. Telling a whole group of men that they have to date black women is insanity, as if the majority of black women ain't democratic, ain't liberal, don't support every agenda. Just think about what they're asking. They're asking a black man, and they already said that black men are more conservative, so they're asking the black man to set aside all of the nonsense and still get with a black woman. It is insanity. It is egotistical and narcissistic. I just told you all my ex went to she was at the Dominican shop, getting her hair done. Her hair was long. It was flowing. Luxurious, had body, had bounce, had sheen, had shine, volume, all them terms. The Dominican said, we want to see your head look good. We value our work. She listened to her bald-headed friend and went to the shop, and as soon as she walked in there, they had it out for her. And the girl put 5 plugs in her head. And y'all are telling me that black men got to put up with all that? You are out of your mind. Dear black men, go where you are respected. Go where you are loved and honored. Period. Don't let nobody tell you to sit there and suffer through some mess. You got to sit there and get with a woman who thinks Kamala Harris is a good person. You want to get with a woman that thinks Joe Biden is doing a good job. You want to get with a woman that thinks what Gabrielle and D. Wade is doing is awesome. I rebuke it. I rebuke the mindset of the democratic, liberal black woman. I rebuke it. He got to sit there and get tortured so that y'all can look at him and tortured and say, okay, he did good. Out of y'all minds. But then when y'all do it, it's cool. Why'd you get with he's not black. Why'd you decide to marry him? Well, I just had so many bad relationships. I mean, it was just hurt and heartache. And I was just so I never thought about dating a white guy. I never even looked at a white guy. I never even thought, not in my wildest dreams did I ever think about even seeing a white guy. And it's just one day, it's like he walked into the office and I was just like, oh my goodness, who is this guy? He had the nicest smile. He asked me how I was doing. But this is how they talk. This is how they talk. If a black man go outside of his race, black women don't give him any credit for saying he got a good woman. It's actually racist. The narrative is racist to say that because a black man is dating outside of his race, that the woman is automatically not quality. That's racist. There are quality women, period. Forget the skin color. Forget the race. A quality woman is a quality woman. And all a woman got to do is just be good. Women ain't got to be smart. They ain't got to be strong. They ain't got to be white. All a woman got to do is be good. And she going to be seen about. What are we talking about? I can't know. I rebuke Cookie Monster. I rebuke it. I rebuke it. At the end of the day, there is a problem in the black community. There is a serious problem. The abortion rate show it's a problem. The homicide rate show it's a problem. The marriage rates, above all, show it's a problem. Education, there are serious problems in the black community. So to say that the black man has to sit there and withstand the storm of these Democratic black women is absolute insanity. Can you imagine a man coming home and his wife is upset with him because she found out that he was conservative? Could you imagine coming home and your wife is upset with you because you don't agree with Joe Biden? This is what these black women are asking black men to do. It's insanity, and I rebuke it. If you don't believe me, you can do your own survey. Talk to the average black woman and ask them what they agree with, and you're going to have your mind blown. They agree with all of this madness. All of it. Not some of it, all of it. Let's continue.
Who you love, do whatever you want to do. I'm just telling you my perspective of why black men don't feel as if they've made it or arrived until they go get a white woman.
And how dumb is it? Do you honestly think that black men are saying, the last piece to my empire is a white woman? I got the castle. I got my royal subjects. I got my land. I got my army. I got everything. I'm just missing one thing. The white woman. Once I get her, it's all complete. Man, it is absolute foolishness.
What I truly love, my hat is off to Dwayne Wade and Gabriel Union, because they've embraced his son, his sexuality.
Well, I think he identifies as a girl now.
Oh, I don't care what. I love it. I love it because you know what it says? You know what it says?
I love you regardless.
I love you regardless, and they're doing it their way. They're not letting society dictate to them and tell them what they should do.
Society is saying, make your kids trans, though. That's what society is saying. They're doing that. They're doing exactly what society is saying. They're not rocking the boat. They're rowing down the stream. They're doing what society is saying. A man is a woman. They're doing what society is saying. This false narrative, this thing that Gabrielle and D. Wade are rebelling against society is, I rebuke it. It's a lie. It's a lie. They are doing exactly what society wants. But again, why wouldn't she support D. Wade and Gabrielle Union when she's a Democrat and she's a liberal? Of course she's going to support. This is what I'm saying. This is she's just she's the physical manifestation of the spirit of black women. This is the spirit right here. Wrong, clueless to what's going on, talking crazy, don't respect men, want a light-skinned baby, want a baby with a white man. I mean, this is chaotic. But you see what she says. I love it. You love a father aiding his child to participate in the will of Satan. You love it. And you want black men to deal with this. It's insanity. And of course they jabbed up. Of course she jabbed up. Of course they both jabbed up. Come on.
Doing what they shouldn't do as parents. Because I wouldn't let nobody tell me that.
They said she had a dog, but she ended up eating it. So I don't know if she still got a dog.
You know, and I remember my mama telling me back when I was a little girl, you know, be who I am. My core values in life didn't change.
What values? This woman has been taught. I didn't give y'all about 8 clips of this woman, maybe about 5 clips or 6 clips. But what has she said that has made you impressed with her character? What has she said to make you think she has any values? What has she said? She's literally parroted all of the false narratives we've been hearing our entire lives. She said nothing new, nothing of substance.
You know what I truly love? My hat is off to Dwayne Wade and Gabriel Union.
Now see, she likes D Wade because he submits to Gabrielle Union. That's the kind of black man that she likes. She likes the black man that would take his child to a pride event. That's the kind of black man that she likes. Now, she was just condemning black men, but the black man that she praises takes his child to Pride Weekend. And she's saying, you got to deal with this. I rebuke it. I rebuke it.
Because they've embraced his son, his sexuality.
Well, I think he identifies as a girl now.
Oh, I don't care what.
And this is what's sad, right? Think about it. How many God-fearing, righteous black women with a platform do you even see? You don't even see them. I know Keisha King. Who else? I'm sure I'm missing some others that got platforms. But the vast majority of black women are with the agenda. Somebody said, I was talking the other day, one of my friends, and we were talking about, you can't sleep with somebody that has a snake bite. We don't know what it's doing, but we know it's doing something bad. And he said, there was this girl, so he had to hit the girl up to see it. Now, he told me what she did. And I said, I know she got it. The Black Girl Magic got it. So he said, man, I got to see. I said, she got it. That girl told him she not only got the first 2, and she said, I got all 3 of them. He was like, oh. Yeah. And a friend of mine, he goes on these dating sites, and the women will have their status up, whether they're, jabbed or not. Them black women, he'll screenshot it, then go back a week later, and it's gone. They'll have it up and take it down. I'm just telling y'all I couldn't believe it. So my point is, the culture that's been created among black people has made it almost impossible to restore the family. It's almost impossible, because what it takes to restore the family is to really, for the man to submit to God, and then the woman submit to the man. for the man to submit to God, and then the woman submit to the man. So it had to start with the men doing it about face and going to God, and then gonna start with the women doing it about face and following the men. I don't know how we fix that, because I don't know how we do it. That may be my last one, because the other video I wanted, I can't see it.
Something that I've learned about accountability is that a person who genuinely loves you is absolutely going to hold you accountable. The problem is that when you aren't actively growing, you aren't actively healing, you aren't actively working on yourself, the accountability feels like an attack. It feels like an attack to your character because of the simple fact that you know deep down inside you aren't putting the work in to actually heal yourself. You aren't putting the work in to actually get rid of those traumas. And instead, you deflect because you feel like this person can actually see the part of you that you are trying to hide so deeply. Or you simply try to avoid that person. Instead, you should actually be appreciating that person for loving you and caring about you enough to actually hold you accountable and want the best for you. That's someone that sees something in you that you may not see in yourself. That's someone that literally, genuinely wants to see you win and wants to see you grow.
She thinks she did it so good. But what she said was, I don't know if y'all can hear it, it's kind of low, is that love is accountability. Because you love somebody, you want them at their best. That's all accountability is. And so for men and women. But I see Motivated Ray said he's good with being single. I'm gonna say this, right? Men aren't meant to be single. They're not. Woman was created for men, for the man, and the man was created to fulfill God's purpose on this earth. So neither one is supposed to be alone. I know it sounds bad when you say, woman for the man, but that's the proper order. That's how things work. They don't work any other way. We've seen now what feminism has done to this country. Feminism has been so destructive that now the trans taking over. Now it's the trans, which was the goal of feminism, to put the trans in charge. And then next going to be transhumans. But we're not meant to be alone, at all. Because what builds character is a relationship. Putting someone before yourself by choice takes character. Choosing to love somebody regardless takes character. The things that God has us do makes us into the best person we can be. So again, you're not going to get the best out of life unless you submitting yourself to another person. Meaning that the man submits himself to the will of God. So the man's already in check. He's already held in by God. Now the woman got to submit to the man, because that's the proper order. Folks going to say, well, the woman got to submit to God too. Yeah, but how does the woman honor God? She going to honor God through her husband. Come on. How does the man honor God? The man honor God by his duties on this planet, which is what? Providing, guiding, and assuming all the responsibility. So he takes care of the family. That's how he honors God. How the man works is how he honors God. Come on. They're not going to tell you that because they want y'all to be single and want trans taking over and all this stuff. That's what they want. I rebuke it, though. I rebuke it.
Black men get delivered. black women are automatically blessed, because we'll then take care of our families, our sons, our daughters, our mothers, our fathers. So my prayer is for all my brothers, self-examine. Let's check ourselves and realize we're so much greater than we allow ourselves to be.
Yes.
And you got to know that the master plan of the enemy is made manifest because when he destroys families, he destroys the church. Churches are comprised of families.
Yeah.
I would give this message to all men. This ain't a message just for black men. This is a message for all men. If I pull the numbers up, black men get married more than black women. Black men get married at 33%. Black women get married at 27%. Nobody's telling black women this message. So this message should go to all men. All men should strive to be righteous. All men should strive to be who God wants them to be so that the woman can follow. When you make it a black man message, you diminish the message. Because it already comes with excuses. What did God say? And I agree with his premise. I agree. But what did God say? God's no respecter of person. I'm not either. Because this attack on family is not just happening to black people. It's an attack on family, period. They want the boys to be girls and the girls to be boys, and then they all get confused on another day. They want the family destroyed, period. It ain't about race. You think they want strong white families that's going to defend America? No. Satan is going to always attack the marriage. Always. Satan is going to always attack the marriage, the family. Whether you white, Hispanic, black, Asian, don't matter. Satan is going to attack. So my advice for black women is to find you a man that you can submit to. Because if you don't find one, society gonna do it. One more. There was a video that I wanted so bad. It might be on my phone. Hold on. Might be on my phone. And it is. It's right here, but it's not on here though. Okay, let's play it.
Man that's willing to make certain sacrifices. He's willing to sacrifice his rest. He's willing to sacrifice his happiness sometimes.
Right.
You know, in order to make sure you're straight. That's actually a form of submission. And so that is a man surrendering it in his own way.
Just looks a lot different.
It looks extremely different. Every way that a man loves his wife is a form of submission. The man is a protector, right? If he is willing to lay his life on the line for his woman, right? If he's willing to die for his family, there is no, that is the ultimate form of submission.
I agree with this message, but I still rebuke it. Blanche, how you gonna rebuke it and agree with it? I'm gonna tell you why. I don't have to make you feel comfortable about the word submission. All this trying to make women accept the word submission is foolishness. You should submit to the man out of respect and honor to God. What are we talking about? Well, the man is submitting too. Listen, no. The Messiah was washing people's feet. God in the flesh, the Word made flesh, came down on this earth and was washing people's feet. Who do you think you are to where you can't submit? But conveniently, you forget the fact that you submit to your boss and Pookie and Ray Ray. And you submit to Beyonce and Cardi B. And you submit to them wigs and them weaves and them lace fronts. It's pride. I don't have to make you feel comfortable about submission. No. If you ain't got enough sense to know what man should be submitted to, that's your fault. If you don't realize the benefits of being submissive to a righteous man, that is your fault. Listen, ladies, he's submitting too. No, I rebuke it. This is done to make these feminist-minded women comfortable with the idea of submission. Not actually doing it, just the idea. I rebuke it. I gotta make you feel comfortable. Submit, woman. You're gonna submit anyway. So the gym the other day, and there's a guy there, and he was getting chastised about his religion. He was Muslim. And the person that was arguing with him was telling him that all that stuff is fake or whatever. And then he said, man, you a slave to the religion. That young man said, would I rather be a slave to Allah than be a slave to these streets, than be a slave to these women, than be a slave to this world, than be a slave. He said, I'd rather be a slave to Allah than be a slave to this money. He said, I'd rather be a slave to Allah than be a slave to everything out there. Now listen, I don't subscribe to Allah, but I understand the young man's point. The young man's point is we all got to be a slave to something. We all got to submit to something. I'm going to choose to submit to something that I believe is righteous. Right. Why the man gotta die? Why can't he live? You gotta choose your master, right? Deshaun ain't right. You gotta choose your master. You gotta make a choice. You gonna love the one or hate the other. I'm gonna end on this one. I'm gonna end on these two and I'm done.
You're probably wondering why I said Dear Zaya and not Dear Zion. We're Zaya now. You have officially come out to everyone and you love it. And don't think about any kind of hatred that comes from the outside world because it does not matter and there's no point in dwelling on it. P.S. You get those heels you wanted. Dear Zaya. You're probably wondering why I said Dear Zaya and not Dear Zion. We're Zaya now. You have officially come out to everyone.
He said, we are Zaya now. Y'all think it's spiritual? He said, we are Zaya now. Y'all think it's spiritual? Y'all think it's demons? We are legion? Do you all think it is spiritual? The boy said, we are Zion now. We are Zaya now. I told y'all, dark-skinned black woman, bald head. This is the image. This is the image.
And you love it.
Dark-skinned black woman, short. This is the image. This is the image. Now keep in mind, he's dating a boy that's a girl that's white. The irony of all this is that he's still dating. No. He's dating a girl that says she's a boy and that is white. He's dating a girl that says she's a boy and is white. So again, if the black man goes outside of his race in the name of trans, it's celebrated. But if the black man goes out of his race to start a family, he's a sellout. See what just happened? When I tell you all that the black struggle is over, that the black culture will be taken over by the LGBTQs and trans, I'm telling y'all the truth. It's over. It's over. That boy just said, we are Zaya.
And don't think about any kind of hatred that comes from the outside world, because it does not matter, and there's no point in dwelling on it. P.S. You get those heels you wanted.
Now, they're calling it hate because people don't want to see a child do this. Remember what I said? They know they can't actually take your children. So what they're going to do is they're going to let the children decide. They're going to give the children the right to choose and identify as an adult. That's their workaround around this whole thing, is letting the children identify as adults. And once that happens, and once, because black folks going to be with their fists in the air. Because black folks going to say stuff like, well, back in the day, the children grew up a lot faster under white supremacy and slavery. Look, they got all kind of speeches ready to convince black folks that this is going to be okay. Well, culturally in Africa, young girls and young men got together at an early age and they already got it set up. They're going to let the children decide. If you don't believe me, what color is the most popular trans child? What color is the most popular trans child? One more and I'm done. It's sad. They're giving this boy hormones and everything. It's sad. They finna mess this boy up, and he gonna come back. He gonna come out years later and say they did. He gonna come out years later and say it was all a setup. They pressured me. I was having second thoughts. I was having doubts. And I'm supposed to look at this and be happy for this madness. Last one.
What about Lil Nas X?
I feel like he needs Jesus.
What about Lil Uzi?
He needs Jesus too. They both definitely sold their soul. I wanted to say this about Lil Nas X. I got a few friends that went to school with him and they said he was never gay.
Are you serious?
So I know for a fact, like, what he doing is because they told him, you gotta do this now if you want.
So you feel like he not really gay?
I feel like ain't nobody really gay. In Jesus' name, amen. It's getting popularity, getting you money, getting you views. So it's like selling yourself. Like, you do this, you going with the whoop.
So what do you think of the music in the entertainment industry?
Like, it's just demonic. The industry, it's like you have to do certain things to get that. So I believe he had to do certain things to get where he's going. And like, the certain things is you got to do this and lead people this way and lead people that way.
Now, what's funny is, before I address what she just said, let me address it. So she said that ain't nobody really gay. And what she's really saying is that it's spiritual. We are in spiritual battles, spiritual warfare. When we think this stuff isn't spiritual, our solutions become carnal. That's why it doesn't work. If it's a spiritual problem, you can't fix it in a physical way. It has to be corrected spiritually. That means you have to submit your physical body to the Spirit, to the Holy Spirit. So what she's saying is that Lil Nas X wasn't never gay in high school. That's what she said. They said he wasn't gay. She said she know this is all fake. And we all should know it's fake because it's too extra. Like it's just over the top. It's foolishness. But if you go through these comments when Vicky's doing this, most folks gonna make it about the way she's talking and her being white. Because what the enemy has really done is the enemy has made you believe that if a white person is talking, it's not good. But if a black person is talking, then it's good. Well, if the enemy can use that, then you're screwed because they're going to put somebody black in front of you to deceive you. So again,
What you think about Lil Nas X?
I feel like he needs
she
Jesus.
D-list.
What about Lil Uzi?
He needs Jesus too. They both definitely sold their soul. I wanted to say this about Lil Nas X. I got a few friends that went to school with him, and they said he was never gay.
Are you serious?
So I know for a fact, like what he doing is because like they told him like you got to do this now if you want.
So you feel like he not really gay?
I feel like ain't nobody really gay in Jesus' name, amen. It's getting popularity, getting you money, getting you views. So it's like selling yourself. Like you do this, you going with the whoop.
So what do you think of the music in the entertainment industry?
Like it's just demonic. The industry, it's like you have to do certain things to get that. So I believe he had to do certain things to get where he's going. And like the certain things is you got to do this and lead people this way and lead people that way.
So it's funny to me that they have a Freaknik documentary coming out and the 5 black women are trying to stop it. They're suing. Now, why would black women, the 5 prominent black women, not want Freaknik to come out, the documentary? Why wouldn't black women celebrate Freaknik? Why wouldn't these black queens, black girl magic, gods of the earth, goddesses, divine divas, why wouldn't they want the Freaknik documentary to come out? Why not? They participated. They did it. You don't want anybody to see it now? You indulged in the decadence. Now you don't want the world to know? You was on camera doing it. They got you on camera. How about this? What we see on Freaknik in this documentary is what them women doing today. They ain't changed their life. There's no way you really change your life and you want to sue. Ain't no way. Because that means you holding on to a false image. You didn't go to God and say, I repent for Freaknik. You didn't tell your kids, your husband, I repent. I was at Freaknik getting ran through. They did a relay on me. They passed the baton on me 100 times. You didn't tell your family that. You didn't say, I repent for all my past transgressions. No. Hope they lose the lawsuit. I wanted to come out. And I don't want it to come out to embarrass anybody. I wanted to come out to expose the decadence in the black community. Decadence. Freaknik was utter decadence and debauchery. You know what I mean? they're doing very low vibrational hood rat things. Okay, this is the last video. I'm done. I gotta go.
The manager's statement, a cashier called over the manager, where the suspect was kind of whispering, asking her to make reparations regarding her groceries of over $1,000. The manager told the suspect that if she wanted a donation, she needed to call in the morning. This response led the suspect to become verbally aggressive, screaming, and forcing the manager to back into the cafe counter. A security staff member intervened and told the suspect to calm down before the suspect began backing him into the security office while screaming. Inside the office, the security staff member punched the suspect in self-defense and then called the police.
So a woman, again, I'm assuming this is California, but she went into Target and she had $1,000 bill and she demanded reparations, so she wanted the free groceries at Target. Now, you know, a lot of looting and stealing is going on, but she wanted to make a statement by it, you know, say she wanted reparations. So she got agitated, she got angry. Now, again, these folks are jabbed up, boosted. So they already going crazy. So when you when them already going crazy and you add reparations and they owe something too, it's gonna be a lost cause. Anyway, she got violent with the security guy. He knocked her out. I wish I could see maybe I could find this video real quick of maybe she's talking. I think I saw somewhere she was talking. We're gonna see black woman Target. Look at the things. Security too aggressive. This man telling you to leave him alone. Back up. You keep. What you want me to do? Let you put your hands on him? No. She wanted reparations. I want to hear her talking though. Ah, man, I might play it next time. Try to find her talking. Anyway, you all, I love y'all. Thank y'all so much for tuning in today. Hope y'all enjoyed the show. The goal is for us to get together, for us to be married, to have strong families, strong communities, strong relationship with the Most High, for us to love each other, you know, for us to be models of the Messiah on this earth. I mean, it's just, this is our task. It's for us to be who God wants us to be. But family's going to be the foundation of that. Yeah, she's insane. She wanted reparations, though. She wanted reparations. And again, in California, they stealing and taking and looting. So these companies in California have been hiring security. So they've been hiring armed security because they're losing money. So these armed security officers, they not playing. They ain't regular. They tackling, slamming, taking. So enough's enough. So again, they've already told these security guards in California to be no nonsense. They've already told them this. Because folks have spent the past 2 years looting with the approval of the governor of California, Gavin Newsom. So the security now at these places, they're not playing. They private. They're not playing. Anyway, I love y'all. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. And I will see you all soon. I don't know when, what day, but it'll be soon. Thank y'all so much. I love y'all.